everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Investors Marketing Show, where we help real estate investors gain more leads, stronger relationships, and more deals through the power of online marketing. I'm Lindsay Phillips, your content coach and expert on all things content marketing for both entrepreneurs and real estate investors. And of course, I'm here with my buddy and co-host.
I'm Aaron, and I don't think I'm on mute anymore. I'm a real estate investor and the world's only exclusive real estate investing copywriter.
Awesome. So, we've covered quite a few things on the podcast, different parts of marketing, lead magnets, call to action, social media. But there is one area of sales and marketing that is being used a ton more, and that is texting. Do you receive any text messages that are like marketing or sales related?
Yeah, I do. Most of them are ones I subscribe to for clients, so I get a lot of client-related stuff.
True.
I try not to subscribe to too much text that's marketing. I need a bit of space.
I know. Some people love it because it's easy, because it's on their phone. You have your phone with you all the time. And then some people find it like an invasion, right? Like their phone is their personal space and not their workspace. So I guess it kind of depends on how you use your devices.
As a consumer, I prefer not to get text, but as a marketer, I love using text because really text bypass people's inboxes.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, there's not going to go to spam email and whatever. It's not going to get thrown in the trash as a direct mail might be, but text, people answer it as the highest response rate, or the highest open rate, highest response rate of anything right now.
I know, and I should have gotten the exact stat before we started filming this, but I'm pretty sure it's up in the 80 percentile of open and response. I mean, you may get a positive response, you may get a negative response, but a response is good.
Yeah, that's right. That's great.
You just want to move on, right, from a sales perspective. And of course, you and I, with different clients, have used various ways of texting. And just so for those of you that are listening, it's not texting from your phone to someone else's phone. It's an automated way of texting, your prospects or your e-list or whatever, in an automated and bulk manner. So you can just reach out to way many more people at once. But there's so many rules, right, Aaron?
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, I don't really know them. And can you hear that noise? I think there's you can't hear.
Is there another train?
No, I think it's. I don't know what that noise is. I think maybe someone mowing the lawn out there.
No,
he's got some super powered lawnmower. It's so distracting.
On nitro.
Yeah.
Rocket fuel.
Sorry. So rules. There are a lot of rules. I'm not great at keeping up with them. I confess. I kind of rely on people like yourself to guide me.
No, you can't do that. I know. Well, it's kind of like there's so many email rules, can't spam and the whole 9 yards. So there's actually even more stringent rules when it comes to texting. So when you get people's phone numbers through forms or any other mean, they need to give permission for you to text them. You can't just, I've got their phone number, I can text them willy-nilly. Like you're just not allowed to do that. So when you have a form that has their name and their email and what have you, and you have their phone, you can state, we're taking your cell number to text you reminders about this webinar. You may receive other promotional material. And you have to give them a way to opt out that is extremely clear. So when they get a text, they have to have the ability, and you've probably seen this before, where it says type stop and it will unsubscribe you. And so because you could get in a lot of hot water if you don't abide by those rules.
Yeah, that's good. You don't want to get in hot water, and it makes sense. I appreciate that as a consumer for sure. And you know what, as a marketer too, I don't want to be sending to people, if they're going to unsubscribe, that's great. I want to only talk to people who are interested in getting
True. Because it costs money to text.
That's right.
And so you don't want to be spending your time and your marketing dollars on people that don't really, they're not your perfect avatar, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the tools for a second. I mean, there are a ton. Like ActiveCampaign has the ability to send text within their automations. We use Fix Your Funnel for one of the clients, and it connects with Infusionsoft. I won't get into the full tech, but and then there's things like easy texting. There's tons, but basically you pay like, I don't know, 5 cents per text message or 2 cents per text message or whatever. So you buy credits and then you send it away. Now, because you're on the writing side, do you find it easier or harder to get all that you need to say in 160 characters versus an email?
I find it really hard. Yeah, like 160 characters is not a lot.
No.
And so you end up using, I cannot write 160 characters easily. It's really tough.
That's hilarious. It's funny because some of my team members, when they write Facebook posts versus Twitter posts, I actually find that the Twitter posts are like catchier and to the point and kind of, I don't know, just zippier because you're limited. You have to like get to the point, you know what I mean, versus being wordy. But I do find 160 characters can be like limiting. You can't put a lot of like descriptions and fluff and, hi, my name is John, I'm reaching out to you because, like, unless you want to send 3 texts in a row, like you have to get to the point.
We've both worked with people, and I'm not going to say their name, but we both know of one person specifically, but in fact, it happens quite often where people will say, oh, here are the texts that we want to send out. And like, they just sat down, wrote out their ideas, and it was like 400 or 500 characters long. Like that's, totally. I think that's kind of what people use to communicate an idea, typically. And so like my job when I get content from a client, my job is usually just to delete most of it. Or try to find. Skill. Yeah, try to find. No, I don't delete it. I try to find like what can I say in 2 words that they use 10 words to say. Really, is what it comes down to.
But then also to be like conversational and respectful, but get to the point at the same time. Like, not gonna lie, it's a challenge.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, I don't have any great tips for it. You just gotta bust out the thesaurus and just do your best. and I think also it's worth mentioning too. This is characters including spaces, I believe, right? Is it
and links? If you have a URL, it will shorten the URL, but that whole space is included as well. So then you're even shortening it even more.
Yeah, so it's less than 160 characters if you're
pretty much
also including a URL.
Yeah. Totally. But, I mean, it's not to say that you can't send 2 texts in a row. Do you know what I mean? So that it's more information. And I've totally received that. And we've used, images or GIFs even as a second text just to kind of, it captures more attention, right? And, shows a certain of your personality. Or if you have a graphic about an event that you're doing. I know a lot of people do those cash flow games or meetups. So if you had an image, it just kind of like, you can say more on an image, obviously, but it just kind of grabs their attention a little bit more and kind of has that chance to connect and kind of explain why you want to reach out.
Yeah, I've really started using images and GIFs a lot more, or GIFs, I don't know how to pronounce it. Use it a lot more lately, and I don't have any specific numbers in front of me, but I know personally, I just, I can glance at it. It's a little more engaging to have a picture in it too.
Absolutely. And so I guess we should probably dive into this as why you would text someone. So from, if you're looking at an educator and you're building your authority in the real estate investing sphere, maybe you have a webinar or you have a free resource or you just launched a podcast and you want your list to know. Or if you have some hot deal that's going on and you want to reach out to all your buyer contacts that you have, like, especially if it's time sensitive, you're going to grab their attention, that much faster. Any other scenarios that you can think of?
Yeah, like if you're sending out postcards to people you want to buy a property from, then you could have them just invite them to call or text. And I think most people will text.
Yeah.
People are, no one uses the phone anymore. And they're also probably afraid, a salesman's going to, pressure me into selling or
Suck
something.
me into a half-an-hour conversation.
Exactly. So they'll text to get their point across and they feel like they're controlling the conversation.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good way that I'm seeing has some huge potential. And then on the seller side, like when you're working with cash buyers, it's really good to, like I say, you find a deal. let's say you're a turnkey wholesaler, you have a deal, and you send out the email, you're like, I've got this property, it's got a tenant, it's cash flowing this much, first person to text me back, and wire me the money will get the deal. And so it's a good way to get like really fast response from people.
That's true. I love the fast response part. And I do want to mention, you kind of hinted upon it, but some texting programs, you can, give people instructions, text 555 or text now to 555, and you'll get this checklist, or you'll get access to my Rolodex or my deals that I have going on, or whatever it may be. So if you're at a conference, an event, or if you're speaking, or like you said, on a postcard, you can put, like text wow to 555, and it's just super easy for people to do versus going to a web page, looking at it, enter their name and their email. It's just, people will take action that much faster.
So one way we've used texting is with the clients, and during their events, they've got a selling event, and that sells people into a big coaching program. And so during their event, they do like a sales pitch, and then they invite people to send them a text, like to actually take a photo of the form, the application form for their coaching program, and then text that form to to a certain number. And then we just keep track of the forms as they come in, because we're giving bonuses to like the first 3 people or the first 10 people. So it's a good way to get people to take fast action. It's a lot simpler, and then no one's emailing you, and then it's getting caught up in spam, and they're like, "Well, I sent it, I should get the bonus." Like it's
it's just so much easier,
a lot smoother. Yeah,
it totally is. Now, I do want to say that when you are looking into some of these softwares, that you do want to make sure that when someone texts back that number, that there's a live person that's able to get those messages. So usually there's like an inbox inside, or it's got a system. Same with if they call that number, right? That you actually have someone that answers. So just, there's all of those little nuances that are easy to forget.
Oh, you reminded me there, Lindsay. And you've mentioned a couple of programs earlier, and maybe they have this, maybe they don't, I don't know. But I've used Scipio with a client.
Yeah, that's right.
Texting funnel. So basically people can text, like you were saying, they can text, a word or something, and then that word triggers a funnel. And so, if they text like, I don't know, buy, they text the word buy, B-U-Y, because they want to buy a property, and then Scipio will automatically put them into a funnel, and then you can end up sending them a few automated texts.
Yeah.
It works really well. It's super simple, and maybe there's other programs that do that too. I'm just sharing the one I'm familiar with.
No, I forgot about Scipio. Yeah, I know you got.
But it's got a great little funnel that you can use.
Totally.
It's all automated texting.
That's awesome. The one thing you do want to be careful of is, whereas you can totally send out a bunch of emails, quite often, when it comes to texting, you do not want to send out a bazillion, because you just have to be mindful of how many you send. It just feels like it's more invasive somehow.
And that reminds me too of you got to watch when you're sending it too. Keep an eye on the time zones.
Yeah.
Because I just turn off my phone when I go to bed. So people text me and I don't hear it until the next day. But I guess some phones, even if you turn off your phone, the texting alert still happens, or maybe.
Or some people use it for their alarm, so it is on.
So I have just personally or just professionally been texting people, and they're like, "Why did you text me at 11?" I was like, "Oh, I didn't think you'd hear." But
I know, I've done the same thing.
So, and we have had complaints by people when we were texting, we scheduled something to go at a certain time, Pacific time, but it hit a phone on Eastern time much later. You kind of get those complaints. So I would say just pay attention to the time zones of the people you're texting. Make sure you're, not sending after, say, 9 o'clock at night or something like that.
Totally. And I know with email, and I haven't really looked at this, but I'm sure you can do it with text, that you can actually, you put in the time, and normally it defaults to your own time zone, but you can actually make it go to the recipient's time zone. So if you want it to go out at 6 o'clock, then it'll go out 6 o'clock, whatever time zone that they're in. Do you know what I mean? Which is awesome.
That's great in email. I don't know if it happens in text, but if you can do that, you definitely should. Yeah.
But I've never really paid attention to that, because I don't know why.
Can you just text when people
I
when you
know.
want to text, and who cares?
Exactly. Awesome. So using text messaging as part of your sales technique and part of your marketing is definitely a successful method for sure. So I guess that's a wrap there, Mr. Aaron Hughes. So yeah, thanks for being here today and for listening, and congrats on taking steps to market your investing business. And of course, be sure to join the Real Estate Investors Marketing Group in Facebook, where you can get more tips and trainings and just tips to grow your authority and build relationships and market your business. So head to reimarketinggroup.com. All right, thanks, Aaron. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.